Thanks for clicking on State of the City. My name is Todd Prafke. I'm the City Administrator here in St. Peter, and we appreciate you taking time, whether you're visiting with us on Facebook or maybe on our web page, our YouTube channel. We're happy that you clicked on us to hear a little bit more about what's going on in St. Peter. So let me cut to the chase. I have a couple of primary things. First of all, to talk about the workshop from Monday night. So here you can see on the screen a copy of the workshop agenda, and there are two topics that are listed there, so let me jump right into those. The first one, as you'll see, is a street maintenance program. Now this is something that we look at every March or April, and we make decisions, the council makes decisions relative to some of the work that's going to be done related to street maintenance over the year. And just to let you know, we'll spend well over $500,000 on street maintenance during the summer months, and that includes everything from filling of potholes, full depth patching, pan patching, crack sealing, seal coating, fixing of curb and gutters, and the list goes on. There's a lot of work, more than $500,000 of work going on. And so, but I do have a map that I think is probably the one that most people will be able to identify with and understand, and is really the most visible portion of the work. And so this is that map, and this shows the area kind of around, this is where Hallett's Pond is, you can see right there. And so the areas in there kind of around the fairgrounds going towards Broadway, and those areas in red are areas that are going to get seal coating this year. And so seal coating is where we put kind of an oil and emulsifier on the road, and then we put that kind of reddish purplish rock on the road, and you drive on it for a few days and it sticks down, and then we come by later with sweepers, street sweepers, and other pieces of equipment to scoop up the excess. And what that does is a couple of primary things, one of which is it makes the road surface hard, which is good. It makes it more durable, so it will last longer. The oil kind of repopulates the oil in the bituminous. It's kind of like using Arborol on your car and making it all nice and shiny. It helps put that petroleum product back in as that evaporates over time. Third of which, it makes it more waterproof, and that's probably the first or second most important thing, aside from the hardness, is that roads deteriorate as moisture gets into the bottom of the road, into the base of the road, and as there are freeze and thaw cycles, right? That's how potholes develop. And so keeping the moisture out of the road, making it shed moisture to the curb and then down into the stormwater drains is really important. And so this seal coating, again, that emulsifier, that oil, and the purple reddish rock does a great job of helping that be more waterproof and shedding that water, and helps the streets last longer. We talk a lot about how often should we do this, and it depends on the road, depends on the street. Right now, we see it probably on each street around 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. It just kind of depends on utilization. It depends on the weather, a lot of different factors, maybe how the street was built originally, but there are a lot of factors. And so we go through every year and do a major section of town, roughly over around 100 blocks. It depends on price. So here's some other things that are important. When the council approves this plan at an upcoming council meeting, they're not specifically saying this is the exact block that will happen. This is more than likely the block that's going to happen, but things could change based on the price of materials, based on the price of contractors to do the work, based on, well, today's the first part of March. It's March 10th today. And so maybe with freeze-thaw cycles, we have other areas that don't come out of winter just as we've expected or seen so far. And so that could change what the work is. But generally, the seal coating work is going to be on this red, the area where the red lines are on the map. And of course, a lot of other work, pothole filling, patching, all kinds of different things that go on. So watch for that, and we'll try and keep you alerted, whether it's through Facebook, the hot sheet, and other places, when that work is going to start. Most of this work occurs certainly over the summer months. Some of it starts in June, and it can go into the September timeline. And so it all comes at different times, but we'll try and keep you posted, so watch for those issues. Now, the second item is the master sidewalk work. Master Sidewalk Program, we're calling it, 2017 through 2019. And so you've heard me talk about this before. This is where the council has said, you know what, we need to make some improvements to sidewalks. We need some sidewalks where there aren't sidewalks now. We want to focus on areas that are around public facilities and parks and other things, and handicap accessibility, all those things. And so we have a really nice sidewalk system in town, but it can be improved a lot. And so the council has set aside $100,000 from the 2017 year budget and plans to do that in 18 and in 19. another 100 to do major sidewalk improvements. And so the first one that we're planning on is around the area of 5th Street, Scarrow, and Chestnut, so around Veterans Memorial Park, where the baseball fields are, and near where the pool is. And so if you look on this map, I'll try and get just a little bit closer, you can see there are blue lines there. Those blue lines show where we're planning to put new sidewalk or improved sidewalk in. You even see a new sidewalk through the middle of the park, kind of going in what would be east of the tennis courts, past where the new soccer rink is located, down to the pool. We have a lot of people that cut through there, so a sidewalk would be really nice in that area. So anyway, watch for this work. The first thing that's going to happen is that the council is going to approve engineering for this work, so then we can go out for bids. We anticipate that this is a little bit less than $100,000 in sidewalks and engineering work, and so again the plan would be to do the majority of this work yet this summer. So those were the two things from the council workshop on just Monday night. So let me hit up a few other tidbits of information, one of which is we're going to be participating with the River Prairie Network and Minnesota Interfaith Light and Power in a community solar forum. You can see the information on the 21st at 7 o'clock at River's Edge Hospital. You can go in the main entrance there. And so we're going to be participating with them. And the primary goal of me participating is to talk about, well, all the details aren't worked out fully yet, and to hear some input, but talk about our solar subscription program. So this will be an opportunity, and if you watch my video blog from last time, I talked quite a little bit about it, where you at your home can buy a portion of your power by subscribing to power on a large solar array that's being built in the Owatonna area. And so kind of here's how it works. If you're the average residential electric user in St. Peter, you'll be able to buy up to half of your power through subscribing to solar panels. And so for the average house in town, that will take about 8.5 solar panels, and each solar panel will cost a little bit more than $1,000. And really what you're doing is you're buying solar energy to be shipped to your home for your use. And you'll get credit on your utility bill based on how much power the solar panel that you're subscribing to generates over time. And so this is a very effective way for folks to get into the opportunity to have a finger on, a stake in solar energy within our community. Buying onto or subscribing to a large solar array is a lot more efficient than little small solar arrays on your roof and other things. But I will say this is not the only kind of opportunity. Buying into a solar garden, subscribing in a solar garden may not be for everybody, and we do not prohibit folks from putting solar arrays on their roof if they want to, but there are rules about you have to interconnect and things like that, so watch for some of that. But we're excited to offer this opportunity, and again, we don't have it all exactly figured out, but it's very close. But we want to hear some input, and this will be a great opportunity for people to provide some input, and we can talk more and explain more about what the goals are. And while I mentioned goals, here are some of the goals that the council has set for, well, you'll see I scratched out solar. Now they're talking about it as renewable energy. And so when we look at programs such as this subscription program, one of our goals is to make sure that we charge what's appropriate. And by that I mean, if you want to be involved with solar energy, that's fantastic, and we want to encourage that. However, we want to make sure that other ratepayers within the community aren't subsidizing your participation in solar energy, because frankly we have a lot of people that can't afford $1,000 for a subscription to a solar panel, and they shouldn't necessarily be penalized. That's really this community-based opportunity goal in action. So anyway, Kyle, if you have more questions or want more information about this, please give me a ring. I'll be happy to visit about it quite a little bit. The last one that I have is to talk about River's Edge Hospital. So here you go. I show this often about urgent care, River's Edge, and you kind of see urgent care, and there's our logo. But really what I wanted to emphasize for this one is the ongoing discussion about potential expansion at the hospital. As you may have seen in the paper, you've heard other places, we're talking about an expansion that could be more than $30 million. The council, the hospital commission, has talked about this at length. They've received a number of reports related to costs. They've received a number of reports related to money, budgets, revenue streams, how this all fits together. And so there's been a very methodical process about how this is being evaluated. It's important to note that the hospital doesn't receive tax dollars, hasn't received tax dollars for many, many, many years, but certainly this is important to our community and can have some risk. However, all the data that we have shows that this is a great opportunity to continue to see expansion of services within our community. So the important part maybe for you is that the council is going to be talking about this more. The next time they're going to talk about this is March 20th, and then potentially some action on March 27th. So if you want to know more details, there are lots of ways to see more information, but one of the best ways coming up in another week or so will be in the council workshop packet for the 20th. There'll be lots of data, financial report, all kinds of information for you to be better educated about what it means for a potential expansion with the hospital. A hospital is a significant issue within a community about the fabric of about who we are and what we want to be as a community. So now I'm running out of time. I got to get to my last point, which is if you want to email me, there you go. You can email Barbara and she'll be happy to get it to me, or you can visit us on our website, stpetermn.gov, or we would love it if you would like us on Facebook or give me a call. Happy to visit more or come out to your group or organization and talk about, well, what I talked about today or other things as well. So that's it. Thanks for clicking on State of the City. Hope to see you again next time.